looking at this match right now, MIBR versus compLexity, starting on Dust2, MIBR has struggled with getting off to those big leads very early on. They've had trouble finding that consistency. So going up against the side of compLexity right now, this is a good matchup. If MIBR can come out strong, however, this could be a very one-sided affair.
Yeah, this is a complete lack of long A presence for MIBR right now. Phelps does make it back after a fast cack boost. He makes it back to the site, and he did spot one person. Now he sees a party out there, and he just starts to fall back and give a parting gift to Ye. Good flashbangs out here as well, as so far compLexity have been flattened on this push in. Phelps takes his sweet time against Shazam to cut through that armor, but still a great pistol round for MIBR, especially after just giving compLexity the double door presence.
Yeah, they choose not to contest that long A. Instead, Phelps heads towards the top of A, initially picks off that first kill, so beautiful there, and then because of that, you're going to see the flash come in from Taco as compLexity is trying to execute. That flash blinds the majority of the compLexity players, allows Phelps to actually go on the offensive once again. He's going to be able to pick one up. At the same time, you're going to have Fur, I do believe, chiming in with 2 kills of his own, and that's a great pistol round coming out from the Brazilian side.
Well, compLexity are going to go right into it with a force buy in this second round. Shazam's got the Scout with head armor out there. Deagles for the most part for everybody else. Just Stanislaw kind of picking up the slack with a P250. So MIBR are starting to feel this out. They're still playing very passive right now. coldzera, you saw that he was on a catwalk and he was playing reactionary, shoulder peeking it, ready to drop a Molotov at his feet to cover the retreat.
Okay, it does look like Def wants to continue towards this B bomb site, creating a little bit of presence, not finding any action, however. It will be compLexity aiming towards catwalk now as this round's starting to progress.
coldzera, I mean, he's worn a track into catwalk here at this point, been shoulder peeking this angle. Does drop the Molotov just a bit closer to the 1 minute mark as compLexity we're getting near to rounding the corner, and that's going to be frustrating to you. Another grenade comes out in being the form of a smoke, and compLexity is going to have to bide their time. Still, we're passing now the 50-second mark. Yeah. They are seeing a lot of utility come out, which they're going to be happy about, that they're at least in one way, fashion or of another, to use the MIBR's economy.
Yeah, this is actually great, though. coldzera smokes off catwalk, heads back towards the top of A. So MIBR have a little bit more of a reinforced hold now towards that A bomb site. Phelps is solo by himself, but is able to pick up Ye now. A counterflash should be coming in shortly, but it will actually be Phelps falling to death.
Yeah, Phelps really struggled to get that spray under control. Did chip damage to Def and Shazam. And ooh, look at Stanislaw. He's sitting right here on the box looking for an angle through the edge of the smoke. coldzera, though, will take him from behind. And you have access to the site, but you have 7 seconds to get in there. Taco's going to stop this and run around from the back end of the one. So 3 seconds. The bomb is just barely planted. 1v2 for coldzera right now. Trying to isolate these two players is going to be really hard to do with a USP. compLexity running the clock down to sub 5 seconds to plant the bomb. It works.
Yeah, that definitely started looking really scary for the compLexity side, but they end up taking that A bomb site off of Stanislaw, who's actually lurking on the edge of that catwalk smoke. That was a great little individual play from him, able to catch the rotation that was coming to reinforce that long A hold. Shazam hits a great shot towards the top of A as well during that round. compLexity, I mean, by the skin of their teeth, are able to pull off their first.
Yeah, that worked out actually really pretty too. So now compLexity are in a little bit of command. They've got their opponents down to some pistols. But
nice shot, Phelps.
The Deagles from MIBR, it doesn't seem to matter who has them. Phelps is the first to ring out. We know coldzera can go crazy with it too. And that's going to sting. And if this pattern continues, let's say theoretically MIBR end up winning this round, you're going to see virtually the guns swap sides. You're going to see some rifles for MIBR in the next round, and compLexity are going to try and force buy into the next one, back and forth, wherever the cards may fall.
Yeah, off of that pick, though, you're going to see compLexity really slow it down now. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to give another free kill away like that. coldzera actually spotting out Sick, gets absolutely punished for it, though. A little bit of damage being done from coldzera, but that's about it.
Molotov right there designed to get a player off of that ledge. So they know now that nobody's home on that angle. Fallen might be able to recover that spot. Smoke, though, lands up on top of the railing, which is a typical standard spot to just take the same approach into that A site and have a little bit of extra movement into catwalk and get to the elbow without that much resistance.
Now, Fur actually should have heard this down towards middle, but a great flash towards middle from Sick is going to get Stanislaw a very nice kill here. Fallen now making a little bit of contact with Sick, but as we pass the 30-second mark on the clock, it's going to be Phelps taking down Stanislaw now, making it that much harder for compLexity.
Phelps actually swaps over to a CZ that was at his feet. He could actually come in from behind now as compLexity start to advance up. Fallen on the edge of the smoke. Flashbangs are all over him. They know he's down here somewhere, but they choose not to take the direct fight. It is dangerous if you go up against these guys at this range. With the pistols, you might end up losing this 3-3 advantage. Rifles. compLexity just take the fight at range. They've planted the bomb, and they're going to tuck themselves into sight as well as back towards pit. Def takes the first blood on this retake as it begins, and looks like Ye will secure the pit and long A side of things, so there's not much for Taco to speak for here.
Yeah, I actually thought that falling towards that, no pun intended, falling coming down towards that CT spawn was really allowed compLexity the opportunity to plant in the site. If Fallen had stayed in that top A site, either playing by Goose or playing by the default box, we could have seen a much different round. Fortunately for compLexity, there was no contention towards that top A. And they're able to get the plant down, able to pick up their second round, and that's going to prompt MIBR now to go on to that full save in hopes to get those guns going forward.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, of course, we can quarterback couch this one and say, okay, well, if MIBR, like you said, had players closer to the site, had them on Goose, and they could take a direct fight because they weren't geared for a retake. They didn't have kits. Then it would take some time to rotate their players into positions to be able to make flanks. So, yeah, sometimes when you get into those positions like that where you're on a force buy and you don't have quite enough money to be able to buy the kits, then, yeah, play a little bit more direct on the site. Set up your camp within the walls of A or B.
All right, looking at it right now, Ye's going to be moving very quickly towards long here. Not making any contact right off the bat. Fallen has aggressed. Ye does spot this one out, so Ye very wisely going to go into a little bit more of a passive mode now, as compLexity doing pretty much the exact same thing they did in the previous round, just taking it slow, looking for any overextension from any CTs that they can capitalize off of before they actually decide on what site they want to hit.
You can see the bomb still back there towards top mid, and compLexity haven't really decided which way, one way or the other. But there are two players at Catwalk that are ready to strike. That's Fallen and Phelps, as the first blood is drawn over there towards B site, and then Catwalk starts to get a little bit of friction too. But not too bad of a trade for MIBR. They've got one for the price of two, and considering they only invested minor amount of cash here, if they can keep that pace up, that'll be a welcome sight. But mid has been taken. It's going to be a mid to be split, and rather an awkward one at that. But they know that their opponents don't have the utility. They don't have the weapons to be able to directly stop a push like that.
Yeah, Fallen being the final member now should be going down fairly easily. Does quite a bit of damage to Def, though, so that's going to keep Fallen alive for that much longer, as Def cannot repeat that area of the map. It does look like Fallen now heading towards Catwalk. Will be going for the drop momentarily here. And compLexity, if they're able to keep all their members alive, that's a great round for them. If they start losing people now towards the end of this round, that's when it becomes a little bit too costly.
Yeah, Fallen was able to recover a Galil that was sitting on Catwalk right there. But this cross is going to be very nerve-wracking to him. Ouch, that aim punch causes a little bit of his spray to actually go up into Catwalk off the mark of the intended target of Sick, who was down there towards CT side. So compLexity are actually off to a pretty damn fine start. MIBR took that pistol round with conviction, but then compLexity come roaring right back in on the second round force buy and haven't been stopped yet. But this is the opportunity for MIBR to do just that.
Yeah, we're going to see Fallen pick up that AWP, and it does look like he will be favoring middle now to start. Oh, actually just helping Phelps get across, or Ferg get across middle, and Fallen's actually just going to get fast-catted right now. So MIBR are going to start the round off with a heavy A setup,
nice stack.
As we are going to see Taco now rotate over towards middle. We're looking at compLexity. Actually, more of the same. Slow default, waiting for picks. They're going to take cat control now. They're going to allow this round to progress naturally rather than forcing it.
That nade stack that came out towards Shazam was actually nuts, because you actually have to have two players with pretty good spawns to be able to get two grenades out there comfortably. And they do manage to toss those and hit Shazam for 60-some damage, so that is going to sting a bit. Smoke's coming out for Catwalk. Fallen's sitting here. They've seen this smoke many times before, but he's actually got coldzera, the rifle, directly in front of him at these barrels.
It does look like a pop flash will be coming out. compLexity looking for that A execute right now.
There is no flash, not yet.
No flash yet, yeah. coldzera might be able to pick up a very easy kill, but there's the flash. Fallen does take down Stanislaw as well as Shazam now. And it does look like MIBR off to a great hold thus far.
Oh, Fallen. Nice peek
just like that.
Sick right there. So you're going to earn a man advantage because of that. So Fallen was able to draw the first two shots. Ye got 99 in there. That's barely keeping compLexity ahead of this one. But looks like the bomb had to go back and get retrieved on Catwalk. So there's going to be a little bit of extra utility pushed out here for essentially the second take of this A site. So you're going to lose an extra body here. This is going to get a little bit difficult for compLexity to hang on tight.
Taco now, he's going to be pushing out towards long. He spots out Def as well here, so this could be a frag going Taco's way now, leaving only Sick towards the top of A, and Fur able to take him down, get MIBR on the board. That's a great retake coming out from the CT side.
It was that late kill against that 1 HP player that came up and was on Catwalk, and that caused compLexity to have to backtrack a bit, recover the bomb, use 2 extra grenades, a Molotov and a smoke down towards CT side to ensure that they could plant that bomb safely, and that actually ended up, I think, being the unwind of that round.
Yeah, Cold was in a very peculiar spot there. I mean, essentially was looking for anybody lurking on the edge of that smoke. He actually caught the flash, wasn't able to connect on anything, but thankfully he had a nice setup with Fallen there who kept them in the round, allowing that retake to actually take place.
Pretty nutty. So MIBR are able to pick up their first rifle round on the first go, which is a good promising aspect to it. So if they can just continue on, they actually have recovered the double op for this round. It's going to be Fallen and Taco wielding those right now. You can see there's a little bit of worry on the compLexity side as they lost that first rifle round. And if you continue to lose that, if you lose this one again, I mean, that's going to be a tie ball game with MIBR having the momentum and compLexity back to an eco round.
Yep.
And you want to get as many of those CT rounds as you possibly can as early as you can.
Okay, looking at the progression of this round, Shazam not spawning anything on that mid-cross, just firing off a shot, hoping to hit anybody on that late cross, but it does look like compLexity will be heading out just towards the top of middle right now, not really progressing into middle right off the bat, just basically waiting for any type of fast cat action, any type of aggression that MIBR might choose to do.
Oh, there's double op setup right now. We see Fallen's op was down there in mid. The second op is solo at B in Taco's hands. So they are reliant on the fact that they've spent some money on this round, but recovered that second op, which is actually a class cannon for Fallen. It's going to be interesting. You see the push on Catwalk. Phelps is going to hang out right on the edge of this one so that if a compLexity player were to come through this against this wall, they'd bump into him, still being blinded by that smoke, and Phelps could actually capitalize on that. And they are just inches away. They throw the grenades. Phelps has the first, tries transferring to the next one. Even though there was a great CT pop flash, it was just a couple frames too late.
Ooh, Fallen firing off against Ye now. That's going to give away the positioning of at least one of the AWPs on the field. coldzera now playing on the edge of yet another smoke here. He won't be finding any action, though, as compLexity now favoring that middle. Taco taking down Ye within those B tunnels, and Fur towards mid. Well, he's going to fall to Sick.
All of these angles from MIBR are actually rather awkward. Taco scopes in. Def dials in his shot instead. Man advantage for compLexity now as coldzera gets boosted up on top of the box. Nice spot from Def here. He'll be able to catch the rotators if they really wanted to try and roll the dice into the B side outnumbered. He'll get the first. He might get capitalized on, though. coldzera will be able to trade that out, but trades continue. And compLexity stop MIBR dead in their tracks. It was just MIBR's angles. They were holding a lot of off angles throughout the map. We saw that one in mid. We saw the one on Catwalk.
Yeah, I definitely thought Phelps was going to be able to pick up a couple more, but like you said, the flash just comes in a second late. Phelps able to grab one, but the compLexity team able to trade that out right away. Taco takes down Ye towards B tunnels, but because Fur goes down in middle, it just becomes too hard for Taco to hold. He tries to aggress on that window peak, gets punished for it, and compLexity move on to their fourth.
Looks like fast long A play right here from compLexity. Throw grenades on corners, and MIBR are also going to gobble up some of this map as well.
This is huge.
Into mid. Shazam gets the kills. He jumps up on top of the boxes in Suicide. He gets 2, but these pistols are getting danger close.
Oh!
He gets 2 more with the pistol. He's locking them up. Shazam, Sick will get the last, but Shazam defending as he may. Sure, it's against unarmored targets, but he does the first 2 with an op, then recognizes that he has people that are within arm's reach of him, and he pushes them back.
Yeah, after that second kill, actually, that he picks up right here, you're going to see him actually miss a shot and then just go right to his sidearm, and this is where he starts to shine, picking up those final 2 kills. A 4K on the round for Shazam as compLexity find themselves with a 5-2 lead here, Dallas.
Yeah, right back in command. You can see MIBR as well. They don't have everything they want to get kitted out here. 1 defuse kit. A UMP is in there as well, so it's a bit awkward if they want to hang on.
Even the utility's looking a little bit lackluster on the MIBR side, so compLexity looking to exploit that right now, going to move very quickly towards middle, create that presence, keep MIBR on their toes, but it doesn't actually look like compLexity want to commit to this. They're just going to pull back around towards those long A double doors, and I can imagine they might even start clearing out long here as we pass the minute 20 mark on the clock.
Yeah, MIBR's default has actually shifted a bit. So previously when it was a double op setup, we saw Taco alone on that B site with that op. Now, since he's a bit outgunned in that position, he's got Fur to join him, and Fur has that UMP as well. So, yeah, essentially come up to about par of what an op could do there. But you got the automatic fire. Maybe you could be able to stop a bit more of a more bodies on hand rush from compLexity, but they're still chilling in mid.
All right, 50 seconds on the clock right now, and compLexity will be committing now. Does look like mid to B is what they want to attack. Pop flash coming out from the back and middle that will allow them to clear close. Smoke towards CT spawn now, and MIBR have this hold in front of them.
Uh-oh. 2 players out front. Taco and Fur. As I mentioned, Fur's going to go into the smoke. He's on top of the boxes, now behind the lines. He's got the first and the second as well. Looking for the next with his USP. That should be more than enough for Taco to be able to get another kill for himself as well. And an awesome transfer. It's suddenly only Def. Both inherent defenders are able to get 2 kills each. 15 seconds, and Def is going to have to stick the numbers down. Fallen. Now recognizing that it was a fake, they could actually just hesitate this and think about a clock kill. But Def instead threw the grenade, then stuck the bomb at the backside of that site. Dies to that. Excellent frontline defense.
Yeah, that was huge from Taco there, being the final member within that site. Fur makes a great play to get those few entries, playing in that smoke like you had mentioned. But really, it came down to Taco there, taking down 2 members moving into that B bomb site. If Taco goes down there, well, it's going to be a 3-on-3 retake. And as I mentioned before in the previous series, that B site is going to be tremendously hard for any CT to try to get back into.
Yeah, it is. And it was really, there's just that play through the smoke with the UMP, because you have a gun that 25 bullets in the magazine. It's not that pretty, especially when you're outnumbered 2-to-1 odds on that site when they're coming at you, even though it's a defending site. But man, he took the initiative on that one and took the round away from compLexity. Fur now in pit. What a beautiful flash in, but Def is able to defend it even with just one hand on the gun. The other one wiping the tears from his eyes. Catwalk is defended by Fallen. He gets that kill there, and they can actually take that Catwalk side and start to shift their defense to be able to be appropriately responsive to this long A 4-man presence for compLexity.
Yeah, Fallen now trying to get above that smoke to look for anything
close.
he can. 6 made it up towards top A, and Fallen looking for the kill, gets pinned down by Shazam now, as coldzera does take down Def. We're into a 3-on-3 with a majority of the compLexity players pretty low.
It was a fresh smoke, and that one's a little deeper too. So that bomb actually landed right on that front lip of the site, and would yeah, missed the bomb. Okay, the smoke still has some time here. I'm not rushing anything quite yet.
Look at coldzera though.
He knows Shazam's back here. He's going to use this smoke to his advantage. Bomb has now been planted. coldzera's in such an odd spot. Almost threads it, but instead gives Shazam 2 earrings left and right side. Sick, last man standing 1v2. He knows where Phelps is, and he knows that there's another player at long A. He's going to try and isolate this. You saw him swing a little bit wider because he was afforded that due to his flashbang he threw towards long. But the noose begins to tighten. Sick. 1 bullet in the chamber. He's able to get a fresh magazine in as they start to get closer and closer. Sick now makes it a 1v1 against a wounded Phelps. He's going to play the time, and he clutches it. Only being painted into the site itself. You could see the way he's able to wiggle his way around and make a little bit more space from himself with just a flashbang.
Yeah, MIBR played that as well as they could there. Phelps waiting for Taco to come out towards long, but Sick played that even better. From the top A, he makes the initial contact with Phelps towards Catwalk, then resets his position, just looking for any easy one-tap. You saw him basically quick peeking every side of that box towards top A, looking for a quick kill, and he ends up getting Taco, and at that point, he's already done so much damage to Phelps that all he has to do is clean it up, and he does exactly that. As compLexity move on to their 6th, and MIBR move on to an eco.
I was actually curious. Fallen had gotten so close to the attackers come into that site as an op, of all things. He went right up on top, looking down onto the ramp from on the site, and was trying to, I don't know, I thought they had taken Catwalk. I thought they were going to wrap back on use Catwalk against their opponents, but that wasn't the case, and losing Fallen was almost a quick death. Nice little boost in here. Ow, that stings. Phelps just lost the bottom side of his totem pole.
Def just firing off a couple bullets towards that CT spawn, able to take him down. coldzera now looking for a little bit of contact towards that Catwalk, not able to do much as Ye does take down Fur. Taco trading it out. It will be Stanislaw onto Phelps, leaving only Cold and Taco for the MIBR side.
Fur just got timing so hard at long doors. He looked back to Taco, like he's probably talking to him through the comms, and it was like actually looked at him in game. And as he looked at him, it was an instant death from the flank. But Taco was able to trade it back. He'll pick up that Galil and run off with it back towards the T side of the B site. And it is coldzera and Taco just chilling out, looking for a little bit of an exit kill here.
Doesn't look like they're going to find too much. There is a player in depth moving off of that catwalk, however. But coldzera is already out by those long doors. No kills will go the MIBR way, and compLexity are onto their 7th now as we near the latter part of this first half. The T's are looking mighty fine, Dallas.
Yeah, MIBR struggling to get consecutive rounds. And without consecutive rounds, I mean, they're lucky it's not the old economy. Otherwise, they would really have no chance into this and no chance of getting ops into their hands. But with that new economy, Fallen is able to afford an op, even though it is painful to win one and not win two in a row. Your economy can't really stand enough to be able to have these full rounds of guns, rifles, ops, and utility. You can see they're shortchanged.
Stanislaw now has pushed his way all the way down towards that Xbox in middle. Not able to spot Fallen, however. He's going to dump a couple nades. Ooh, and that nade doing a little bit of chip damage to Fallen. Not too much there as Fallen got out of the way. compLexity, however, looking like they want to poke and prod out middle here to start this round.
Smoke's coming down to appear that it could be a mid to B with a wide
Look at
swing
Fallen
on
right now.
Fallen's doing the same thing. He's hyper-aggressive, but he has to now because there's a Molotov at his 6 o'clock. And the rifle, in fact, came up of coldzera to direct support Fallen. They can't afford to lose the op right out of the gates right there. And that was a pretty good toss of utility in there to force Fallen's hand.
So while this is going on towards catwalk, compLexity has put Ye out towards that blue bin, towards the long part of the map here. This is huge for the compLexity side now as Fallen, who's right there on the edge. If another flashbang comes out, Fallen's going to be taken down.
Yeah, but he wins these, I'd say, most of the time. Shazam's going to throw a Molotov towards Car. That'll land behind. Fallen wins the first shot, looking for the next. He's blinded completely. Is he able to retreat? He is. Phelps, with some Overwatch support from above, is able to get Fallen out of that foxhole. Stanislaw around the corner. He loses his fight as well. It seems to be the game of
peek.
off angles for MIBR.
Oh,
and right now, they just dominated that A site.
That was some great shooting from Phelps. Great backup towards Fallen as well. Fallen should have gone down there, actually, very, very quickly. But what ends up happening is Fallen takes the first kill. Shazam wasn't anticipating that Fallen was so close. So Shazam actually has his back towards Fallen. And that's going to give Fallen the extra amount of time that he needed to just get out of that site. Meanwhile, Phelps swings in, ends up picking up a 3K while backing up Fallen. There was a nice double peek that they had towards the long A area of the map. MIBR pick up their 4th.
And like we saw coldzera get a kill on catwalk there. He was on another off angle. They love these catwalk off angles.
Yeah.
MIBR do. And it's worked 50-50 so far. That one, it worked with a resounding success. Keeping all these guns in play is going to help things out if MIBR are still unable to get 2 rounds in a row. They do have a better shot here, as you see Sick has been down to the 9mm MAC-10 as good as he can, and there's even a Galil in there for Ye. But mid is now in control of compLexity, only using a couple flashbangs. They love these mid-to-B smokes. Whether they execute on them or not is starting to condition MIBR as to guess as to what's actually heading their way. Sick leading the way up to the window right now. He'll turn right, but he's been shot in the back again. Fur coming through this smoke is just punishing compLexity. Stanislaw will actually catch Fur, but it might be too little too late. Def and Stanislaw pair up for 2 kills to draw back what was a 2-5 deficit.
Yeah, that was a great individual effort from coldzera. As soon as Fur makes contact outside of those doors, coldzera forces that CT spawn smoke, comes through and ends up picking up 2 kills. The bomb has gone down now. We will see the retake scenario arise. Can compLexity hold this one off as coldzera does take down Stanislaw? Def looking to make plays. Is he able to take down Fallen?
So far out in the open. Yeah, he was so weak to the tunnels pressure, even to the door pressure as well.
Yeah.
If there was a second player to come out that door, he was 100% committed to hoping that 2 players came through that window. So he was shot in the spine, and MIBR getting things done late in the day. It's going to be 5-7 now, heading into the top of the 13th.
Okay, MIBR now going to have that double op setup in play. 3 AUGs as well. compLexity, on the other hand, will... They are broke as a joke. 2K on Shazam, 2.8 on 6. So we're actually going to see an eco round come out from the compLexity side as they're going to buy up a couple deagles, try and get something going with those. But it should be compLexity actually falling in this round to give MIBR their 6th.
Yeah, it's the eco-deco round. And if anything, it's possible that MIBR are overbought for this situation. Oh, this nade could hurt. Oh,
hurt Ye at least.
Yay. Not happy about receiving that grenade, not smiling for it. And if compLexity are able to overwhelm the ops of Fallen and Taco, then they can actually do some serious damage. So you're actually going to really be reliant on these AUGs, being the automatic fire, to stop any kind of mass presence from compLexity on Catwalk.
MIBR have already set up a great A-hold right now as coldzera playing towards that top A, Fallen with that op angle as well. It's going to be off of coldzera's peak now. This should be a fairly easy hold until Stanislaw comes through with his deagle, and maybe a bomb gets planted here.
Yeah, there's the 2 kills. Can they actually be brave enough to go recover one of those weapons? Doesn't seem so. They're still going to have to get it done with the 50 cals. Phelps getting dangerous out there. You've got players coming up the elevator, though, so Stanislaw is going to have a problem. What a beautiful flashbang again. Def is disconnected from the site, but the fact that he gets another kill is going to help things out in doing the economic damage towards the latter parts of this half. Bomb will be defused. Def not in the right neighborhood to be able to successfully defend that one. One op recovered for MIBR. They should be able to afford the second one, though.
Yeah, compLexity now looking at their money. They'll be able to buy up into this round, no problem whatsoever. MIBR, on the other hand, well, because of the expensiveness of that round, the cost of losing at least, I do believe they lost, what, three members in that round?
Yep. Yeah, one op. Well, the one op they lost, and they lost 2
Exactly.
ops.
So looking at their money here, Dallas, this is an opportunity for compLexity to win this round, put MIBR onto an eco, and finish off the half 9-6.
Oh, they're fast out with the long doors. Sick has that first kill. It's chaos, but coldzera thrives in this chaos. He's found the first and the second. He's in fact pushed the T's back into the double doors. He finds a third down to his sidearm. He's completely dry on the magazine, but he's done more than enough. MIBR now own the man advantage. They have a double op setup still, where those ops remain. Fallen on Catwalk, Taco at mid, so they have a lot of attention with these ops leaning to that A and mid side of the map.
Yeah, what a massive hold coming out from coldzera. After compLexity getting that entry kill, coldzera forcing the issue on the edge of that smoke. They're able to pick up 2, picks up that third on the final member, trying to make his way out the doors. And right now we're going to see a 3-on-2 situation here as compLexity try and bring themselves back into this round.
So being from behind right now, if compLexity do lose this round, they'll be into 4 rounds of loss bonus. And an extra bomb plant would be a saving grace for them, I think. A missed shot from Taco. They now know that there's a player to the A site, but it's still a long ways ahead because Stanislaw has to throw this bomb up to Def. He does so. He got it. There's a smoke down there at CT that was able to block the vision. Stanislaw coming around long has fallen out in front. Doesn't get it done. Wow. The USP does it. It's Def alone. 1v3 with an AWP. Spots the first, but they have seen him as well. They're going to try and actually, they do land the jump shot, I believe. So Taco finds that one straight to the head of Def. And MIBR have brought it even Steven, 7-all.
Yeah, this is huge from MIBR now as we move in towards the last round of the half. MIBR definitely starting to come alive here, and this is what we were talking about. The fact that once MIBR starts hitting their stride, once they find that pace, once they find that momentum, they are a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, compLexity started off strong, but now that MIBR has got that momentum under their belt, we're really finding it hard for compLexity to get anything going.
Well, they have gotten 3 bomb plants in a row, and that gives them enough on this round. The utility is about half there, but the fact that they have full AKs is their saving grace. They need to just be able to get past these first openers. It's been relatively even on entries. The trades have. It's either 2 for 2 or 3 for 3, it seems, but it's just MIBR a little bit more successful as of late, and that's, I guess you could say, the second quarter as we close in on that, on their retakes.
It does look like compLexity will be able to take Catwalk here fairly uncontested. There's only a smoke in front of them. No CTs actually playing on the edge this time. So compLexity will achieve that Catwalk control. Most likely actually just end up splitting out as 4 members of the compLexity side are patiently waiting there towards that Catwalk stair area while they have the Lurk and Ye waiting outside the long doors.
2 smokes are left for compLexity if they want to be able to take this. Probably have your typical smoke that lands on the railing for Catwalk so you can get to the elbow as cleanly as you can. And then another smoke maybe for CT side. Phelps has a Molotov come in. There's going to be a Molly lands on site. Nice shot from Sick. Now Fallen will be able to hold this angle. Can he get Sick down? He does just that. 44 seconds, tons of time, but Ye's been flanked. They lost long A control. Fallen was supposed to be watching those long doors, but since he lost his comrade Phelps, suddenly he had 2 responsibilities. 4-on-2 advantage.
Yeah, not only that, he lost the player on A ramp as well. And I mean, at that point, you're just going to be looking for frags to keep your team in it. Right now, Def, pushed by this elevator, is able to catch off Taco, leaving only Fur in this 1v4 situation. We've seen great things out of him before. Will he be able to do it again?
Oh, he's been spotted. He knows that Def is here, so it's going to be a great nade, but Shazam one-taps him, and that is the end of the half. compLexity just barely edging that one out, but still, a 7-8 scoreline's pretty as even as you can get on the first half.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, that was on compLexity's T side. Now they're moving on to CT. It's going to be a lot more difficult for them to get anything going. MIBR definitely on the better side to close this one out. Let's see if they're able to do it.
Yeah, so let's see who ends up taking the reins on this pistol round. In the first half, we did see, I believe it was compLexity, win the pistol, immediately responded by MIBR, or the other way around, sorry. But second half to begin, a lot of question marks in the air. Stick around. We'll be right back in the Pro League. Ladies and gents, welcome back. It's the second half about to begin on the first map of MIBR versus compLexity. You can see the score lines up there. The score is even, 8-7 right now. You can see the ADRs are pretty even as well for every player all the way down the list. But as you had said, though, it was compLexity that only got, quote unquote, got 8 rounds on their T side. So MIBR had a successful CT campaign.
Does look like MIBR to start this round will be doing a little bit of what compLexity did in the previous half here, taking out towards long very quickly. Stanislav is going to get gooshed as well as Shazam now. This is all the more fuel for MIBR to take this A bomb site.
Yeah, sure, there was a flashbang in there that created some confusion on MIBR's approach, but they had already smoked off the top side of that elevator, so they're comfortable with it. Ye's already on a flank, though, and the bomb's still struggling to get to the B site. You know, it's a ruse. Look at all this. They're fighting over the A site, and meanwhile, the bomb's being planted at the B site uncontested. This will be interesting, but MIBR are not winning the fights up front. When does compLexity recognize that this is a B plant.
I don't think they will, as they're going to be calming, they're going to be talking about these players right now. This bomb is going to get planted without contention, and MIBR on a massive fake here.
Wrong
Looks
site.
like they're going to be able to pull this one off.
They still don't know it's the A site. They just got outbrained. But what was crazy there, on the A site, it ended up being a 2v4 Fur and coldzera, stopping everything that compLexity had right there at the top of the elevator. Interesting strategy.
Yeah, that was a great idea out of the MIBR side. Definitely just, I mean, it was a phenomenal strat there, faking out the entire compLexity team. Even after that bomb goes down, compLexity staying. Well, they can't really even move away because
they'll be shot in the back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they had to fight those two players, and not being able to take them down now just adds that much more towards that plant in the B bomb site. So MIBR, great strat.
It was a catch-22. You
Exactly.
either go to the B site, get shot in the back, or you take the A site and waste time. You know, you lose-lose situation right there. So excellent round from the MIBR side, tactically speaking, as right now they go for a run boost of the Scout of Fallen, jumping and leaping like Superman. He does spot Stanislaw at the top of the elevator.
Okay, MIBR now out towards this long. We're going to see Shazam, I do believe, or actually I do think that was Def. Yeah, towards the top A with that scout, making the initial contact, not finding much else. It's going to be Taco now moving towards Car as he looks to find himself a frag on the round.
Taco chilling. Oh, he misses a couple shots. Great accuracy from Def right there. Searching for the next target. Fur, though, able to capitalize on Sick, who was just about to lay waste to Fur, but he is instead picked off by Def, who's doing work. Mass scout round from compLexity is chipping away at him, one shot at a time. Another scout shot rains through against Phelps. He's at 11 HP. It's just, it is an absolute, it's a setup and spike from each shot of the scout. As they crossed over the top side of elevator, they took one scout shot, and then Def just from the top spikes it.
Yeah, that was great out of compLexity.
Alley-oop.
This is their second force buy that they've actually won on this round after losing the pistol round. Def with some great shooting there, pulls off a 3K in the process, and compLexity are going to find themselves in the lead once again.
That's as comparable to an alley-oop as I could possibly get. Like that, it was one player to the next, shot after shot. And compLexity, you're right. Sure, MIBR have won both pistols, but compLexity have won both force buys. So what's more important? Probably the force buy, I would assume.
Well, it definitely puts compLexity into the driver's seat going into this round, as we're going to see an AUG on the field, an AK, some Galils going up against just the Deagles of the MIBR side. It doesn't even look like MIBR want to take this round too quick. They're going to be looking for any of the compLexity members that want to peek out, maybe towards Catwalk, maybe towards B tunnels. And it does look like Phelps will be leading the charge towards long A.
Well, Stannis and Shazam actually have this mid spot, and they can actually see anything coming. But they're a long ways off from helping Def, who was just holding down Mouse 1, being as blind as he was. Got 2 kills. All right. You hand over an AUG, though, and see what Fallen can do with this. Or maybe if he ends up dying because he doesn't have any armor, just being careened over to the next player. But they have stalled out at long A, and they only have this one real weapon that can actually reliably do damage downrange.
Yes, Shazam now taking down Fallen as he exits that pit. A nice little nade, as well as a flash as Taco takes down Sick towards spawn. We will see MIBR attempting to cross long as coldzera takes down that scout.
They're going to back off. If they do, well, no, they've turned right back around. They almost had the timing perfect. Yay, swings out, and suddenly it is only Taco. He has to go back for the bomb. He does pick up the AUG, so it's the third player that has touched this weapon, as cursed as it may be. He's got the next one, so maybe the third time's a charm, but he suspects that Stanislaw, who showed himself at the A site, is still A site. He's going to get absolutely blindsided by the brain of Stanislaw. So we saw some creativity on MIBR's pistol round, and then we see compLexity coming back and saying, we could be pretty creative ourselves.
Definitely. MIBR now onto a full eco there, not finding success in that force buy. Will give compLexity the opportunity to farm up some cash. Instead, though, compLexity, we're only going to see one SMG on the field, and that's going to be on the back of Def, who's sitting at 21 frags. A phenomenal performance from him on this first map. Let's see if he's able to actually farm up some cash.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of that damage on that force buy second round when he was just locking people up with that scout. So he might not have the highest ADR after he's just hitting people on the second shots for the 30 damage, but still good enough for a kill. He's actually at 126 ADR, so he's proven me wrong. He's a 2+ KDR, just barely above that, and 120-some ADR. That's insane. Shazam locks up the first player in mid. He's got some help in here, that being Def that's out there, but you've lost long A control. In fact, Def is just going to continue to push in. There is no quarter given to these Ts. They've been pressured, but they have at least defended to their rear side, but there's not many more bodies to go around the tropes. So it is compLexity picking up another one, that time anti-eco.
All right, the op was recovered. Shazam did lose it in the previous round there, but thankfully Ye able to pick that one up, so no love lost there in terms of money spent. MIBR now will be buying up into this round. However, they're going to be missing that AWP on the back of Fallen. So I imagine MIBR might be looking for a little bit faster of a strat going into this round just to capitalize on the fact that they're running with 5 AKs. Well, 4 AKs and 1 SG, I should say.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, maybe they do run something fast. They're running straight down mid, and do they continue? They're clearing their angles out diligently, and nobody's home. As a matter of fact, they find themselves in a spot that's got a really great pivot point. Ye is up at the B site doors looking down this direction. You see Stanislaw has thrown a flashbang, and
great
that struck some fear in there for Phelps and coldzera.
Yeah, Stanislaw now will be playing it a little bit passive, not looking to attack it right away. A nice Molotov into spawn is going to take Stanislaw out of the equation here, as he's going to be falling back. Ye on the other edge of this smoke as MIBR moves up towards these B tunnels to attack onto the site.
Oh, coldzera's in the
Ye
smoke.
has no idea.
He's looking. He's got some indication. He's turned back, but coldzera turns right around and just taps him in the back of the head. Sick now defends this site. What looked to be a disconnected or discombobulated mid to B strike and a long lurk out there by Fur leaves Stanislaw alone. He's turned
nice shot.
90 degrees to the left, but before he can chamber the next round, he peeks out and coldzera punishes him for it.
Yeah, that was a great idea from MIBR, lurking out towards middle, initially making that contact, but leaving Fur towards those long A doors was what really allowed MIBR to have success in that round, because as soon as Fur takes out that long flank, they know that the final players on compLexity have to be towards that top A area. They're able to just close that portion of the map down. MIBR now on 9 rounds will be prompting compLexity off of that round loss to go on to an eco. This is the opportunity for the Brazilian side to get into double digits.
Yeah, they're just right there, and it should be a piece of cake. Got lower tunnels push from Def. He's down low, looking out. They've got the Xbox smoke, so it looks like Sick and Def are going to try and jump up behind, and then even a third player, Ye, is joining in pursuit. They're all going to try and jump up here. It's all 5 in line looking to catch this, but Phelps hears it all. So he's going to settle in, run boost to try and upset his aim. He gets himself 2, and Stanislaw, again, we've seen this before, where he just pops off on 2 kills immediately. And there's another low-hanging fruit out there. Again, Fur on the long flank could get caught here. He's rounding the corner. These are just some pistols plus the AK that was picked off the body. But Ye does get caught off guard. That was the AK.
Shazam now with a little bit of contact onto Fur. Fur able to take him down, but Stanislaw with that SG will be surviving this round, running to save MIBR onto 10 off of a fairly fast round where compLexity was on that full eco.
Yeah, that was painful, especially so. Bomb will detonate, and another challenge out here. Stanislaw doesn't even want to fight this at all. He got 3K on the round, responsible for all the kills against Phelps, Fur, and Cold, and he'll carry that SG. Toss it. Looks like he bought an AUG for somebody and shared some of the love over there. He'll hold on to that Krieg into the next.
Okay, and if we're actually just looking at this round here, compLexity, that AWP on the back of Shazam, really just not too much going on the compLexity side in terms of a heavy buy. They've got the utility they need. They've only got 1 kit, however, so if we see the post-plant scenario arise, compLexity is going to be hard-pressed to actually retake that site. They're going to have to move a little bit quicker to get in time for that defuse.
Yeah, I mean, we started off this half at 8-7 with compLexity on a 1-round lead, and we're in the exact same spot as it's been split 3-3 each way for this half, and it's a perfect spot for, I think, one team to start to pull away from the other. And if you win this one, you're likely going to end up winning 2 in a row.
Okay, let's take a look at how MIBR want to approach this round. I imagine they'll keep pressing that issue towards long A, those flashes coming over, trying to take that control initially from the CTs, and then maybe moving back towards Catwalk for a little bit of a late round cat hit. But we will have to wait for this round to develop. It will be Phelps creating that long presence early on. You're going to see that smoke towards the corner of long A, a couple flashes over, but they aren't going to be contesting it here. MIBR, a very slow round is what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, and I want to see the reaction too. You saw that, you said their corner smoke was out there. There may have even been a flashbang that went out from MIBR side to long A, because compLexity's utility, if you look at it right now, they cannot afford to liberally apply utility on any sort of thick level. either site. So they're kind of stuck. Ye has the most utility, and right now he's B site watching mid and giving some accoutrement. He's thrown a smoke out there. It looks like they've plugged up the B tunnels, and it's already. There's still $1:15 on the clock. They got no grenades.
Yeah, compLexity have retaken long here, so this is some great positioning out of them. They've got Shazam towards top A, so although compLexity didn't contest it early on, they went for that retake towards the middle portion of the round. They're going to be, well, gifted an uncontested long A control.
So compLexity are going to have to get things done with just their rifles. They do have some flashbangs, so okay, that's going for them right now. And mid and CT is owned by MIBR. They're going to come up to this B site, and how difficult is it to hold on to this site with no grenades? Fallen and Phelps just stroll in casually, taking those first 2 kills, and this is an instant save call. Stanislaw, being a little bit exposed there, coming up the elevator, starts to back his way out. So they will, so far, hang on. And as I had said, whoever wins this round is likely going to end up winning the next. Not the case now. When 3 can buy for the 2 in the next round, Fallen seems to be the one that could possibly tilt the favor back to MIBR's side to make this an anti-eco in the next.
Yeah, MIBR with a very nice strat here that we've seen many teams since day one of this last chance qualifier, essentially, for Osatani, have been running. They've been running that top A smokes. You're going to see that cat ledge smoke as well as the drop down smoke, and then they're going to get fur into that CT spawn while going on the mid B split, and it's paying dividends for MIBR now as they find just absolute domination on that B site.
So Fallen actually does not push any further. Now what ended up happening because of that was MIBR choose not to hunt because they themselves, their economy was weak.
Yeah.
They want to at least keep that in the nursery, let it grow up to be a big, strong economy at some point because it's neck and neck, and you're only a handful of rounds away. If one team just manages to make a streak happen, then the game could easily end. Flick of a switch.
Okay, and it does look like compLexity was taking a little bit of a tactical timeout just to discuss whether they want to buy up into this round or not. A couple of the players on the compLexity side have above the 2K mark. We could have seen Famises being dropped, but instead they're going to choose to just save their money. They've got some rounds to play with before they actually need to start forcing up and getting themselves involved. So they're going to let the rifles that they saved do the work here, as Def, Stanislaw, and Shazam all are equipped to make some big plays here. Let's see if they're able to do it, Dallas.
Yeah, I thought some Famai were going to be bought, but no, that doesn't seem to be the case. They keep their money right at about even with everybody around that $2,000 mark and just let it be with the 2 deagles that are in play of Ye and Sick. And they weren't able to do much last round without grenades, and they're going to have to do the same thing without grenades.
Okay, Sick, very tight on these doors right now. Is he going to get a pop flash through? It doesn't look like it, as none of the compLexity players really have any utility except for Def, who has a smoke grenade. But it does look like MIBR now taking that cat control, moving up very quickly towards that top A. As Def makes a lot of damage onto Phelps there. That's going to keep him a little bit more passive as this round progresses.
That's what compLexity needed to do in the previous round, is just get things done with their rifles. They didn't quite finish off Phelps, and him being at long A at 4 HP might keep a little bit of presence, a little bit of value out there, but at only 4 HP, I don't know how well that this pincer attack into the A site could actually function. You got 3 defenders, 3 inherent defenders, and then 6 down in CT, so he could be there in a hot hurry.
Yeah, it does look like compLexity right now are playing all their rifles towards this top of A, where MIBR are choosing to attack. Shazam now taking down Phelps towards long. MIBR is going to keep pressing the issue right now, and here comes the hit.
They actually moved Taco out towards long A to assist on that 4 HP Phelps, but right now they are melting on the front line. Man advantage to compLexity for the time being. But you can see that MIBR are getting a little bit worse for wear. They got that kill with Taco against Def, but the bomb falls. Stanislaw on site, trying to deal with Taco at range. Leaves Taco alone. 2 HP and just as many CTs left. 16 seconds. Got to cross this and get into the site. Sick hears it all coming. But good Molotov. Yay, actually, that Molotov probably just takes the fight sooner rather than later. And that ends Taco's life. So compLexity pick up that round. The economy for MIBR is still good enough to be able to purchase.
Yeah, great call from compLexity. They're opting to play all their rifles towards A site in hopes that MIBR are just going to attack that portion of the map. Yep. And that's exactly what they do. Shazam starting it off, taking down Phelps towards long A, and then the hit comes in towards top A, which allows Taco to actually lurk out, but by that time, it's too little too late.
Yeah, well, the fact that Phelps took all that damage early at long A was at 4 HP, it was going to be a 4-to-1 split. 4 players going to catwalk. one player coming along. That would have been Phelps. But instead, Taco came off of that catwalk presence to help Phelps out.
Yep.
And sure, Phelps died, but Taco was able to refrag out, but that weakened the catwalk presence. And that may have been the difference maker. Sometimes it's just those little details. And who knows how that could have ended up playing out differently. A little bit of a shift change. compLexity put Ye up on top of the blue bin at
I think we
long.
might see a pause. Yeah, exactly. So this is a not live round right now. I do believe there was an issue between coldzera's monitor there. So we'll probably see a match medic coming in very shortly here. Unfortunately for MIBR, it did look like they wanted to take the round a little bit quicker, but because coldzera had a little bit of a technical issue, we are going to see the pause come out.
Yeah, no problem either. Neither team was able to lay eyes on one another enough to be able to discern strategically or tactically what the positions were.
Never mind, the admin's called
live
it live.
by admin. It's probably because Fallen had taken damage already.
Yeah.
50 HP as he remains, and that ended up burning some of the clock from MIBR. So now they have to advance forward, doing more with even less. Phelps is down on the CZ, is what I mean by that. And they either want mid to B again. Seems to be the case.
Okay, it does look like MIBR is going to be poking and prodding out towards middle now as we near the 30-second mark on the clock. A lot of time has been wasted by MIBR for that little bit of an issue.
Yeah, coldzera's monitor is obviously back on, unless he is echolocating his way through here. It is going to be a mid to B push. You can see the B team through the tunnels is already here, but the push in through mid is delayed, and if this bomb gets dropped, it's going to be a disaster. Def gets 1.5 of the next one, but the bomb, again, like I said, has to be re-recovered. coldzera trying to fight off Stanislaw, and yeah, no time left. The time was an issue for MIBR as they tried to advance up. Sometimes, I mean, they couldn't really organize their troops in time with what came at them that round. You want to see if it's going to be a mid to B split is to put that bomb in a safer position, and that being part of the B team tunnel that comes in, because then you could back off. If you lose the weaker side of the push, that's the two players coming up through mid to B.
Yep.
If the bomb falls there, you're kind of up creek.
Yeah, yeah. MIBR now onto an eco here. compLexity moving closer to this map 1 victory as MIBR forced to just start building some economy. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to even get too much money under their belt as the Molotov comes out from Shazam after doing quite a bit of damage to Fallen. The MIBR players looking like they want to head out towards middle and burst on this area of the map.
Yeah, Shazam is currently alone, and he misses his shot, and that's going to give a little bit of confidence to MIBR as they poke their way out, getting a headshot against Shazam, so he's going to back off. Fallen, again, they sense blood in the water with a wounded Shazam in there, and they try to push into mid. So the bomb has been fallen up on Catwalk. I do not believe it fell into CT, but still, just having an eco around means you're probably not going to touch that bomb ever again.
All right, Def taking down Phelps now. Taco, the final member, has moved his way into that B bomb site. He might actually be able to pick off Shazam here, who's very low on HP, and it does look like he's going to be, well, actually just pinned, waiting for this window peek. Great awareness from Shazam.
He tried bursting him. With Shazam being so wounded, that actually could have gotten a casualty of war. The op would have been recovered, and it would have been a loss of a rifle. But still, compLexity are the ones that are knocking on the doorstep of victory. And I said if you just manage a streak here, you can end the game sooner rather than later. compLexity are the ones that instantly heard that and took 3 rounds in a row for themselves. If you win this round, you put MIBR into a 4-round loss bonus. If they get a bomb plant, they can get a bye into the next. If they don't get a bomb plant, it's going to be a little bit worse for wear, but compLexity would be right there at 15.
Ooh, Stanislaw now with a great shot onto Taco there as Def chimes in as well to help out with that coldzera kill. Phelps trading it out onto Ye towards long. We'll give MIBR an opening on this portion of the map, but they do find themselves down a man in a 4v3.
Yeah, Def is on site, and right beneath him is Shazam, and we know how dangerous that he can be right now. The B team is actually pushing. Sick and Stanislaw have pushed through the B tunnels, so they know that there's a weakness. They know that there's some map control, and the guys that are on the A site are still steadfast. They remain, and I hope that this doesn't come to bite compLexity in the butt, because Stanislaw is now back towards T-spawn, and MIBR have shifted and remained right at long A. So actually compLexity do send that extra player Sick from B over towards supporting A. This is great.
Yeah, if compLexity can actually hold him back for long enough, Stanislaw is going to be able to get involved with this flank. We're going to see flashes coming out towards A. MIBR now rushing up towards that site where Def is patiently waiting.
So Molotov, that's going to burn him out of position, so he may even jump over the board. He does, actually. Well played. Shazam picks up that next kill. It doesn't look like there's two smokes to be able to safely cross this, but the boost stops the bomb plant, and there's that long lurking flank from Stanislaw. compLexity outmaneuvering their opponents as MIBR just kind of got concrete in their shoes. That's set up on long A right there.
MIBR went for a very fast strat towards Cat. They were absolutely punished there right off the bat by Stanislaw as well as Def in towards middle. That's going to convert it in towards 5v3, I should say, really quickly. But we saw the trade come out as Ye went down to make it a 4v3. But from that point on, MIBR were really just waiting to get taken out as Stanislaw was developing a flank towards that long A. MIBR forces it up towards site. There's a massive gap in the smoke, which compLexity takes advantage of. And MIBR unfortunately not able to get much done.
So B tunnels for MIBR. I mean, this is either win or lose on a strategy like this. A Molotov's actually going to split the attackers coming into the site. A spray down from Sick and Ye virtually ends it at this point. coldzera last man up, 1v4 with a lowly MAC-10. And he'll just tickle the defenders as they were coming across CT side, and it's actually compLexity that take map 1.
Yeah, off the back of a tremendous performance off of Def. 29 and 15 is what Def is going to finish this first map with. That's exactly what you want to see out of